Throwawayalien. The name of a madman or an unassuming prophet? Who knows? But as we approach the time of reckoning put forth by an anonymous Reddit user, we should look back on this infamous post and really look at the narrative that's been put forth. Even if nothing happens in the coming weeks, the following predictions made 7 years ago can still send shivers down your spine as we wait and see. In 2013, a Reddit user posted under an Ask Reddit thread titled "Alien Abductees of Reddit or People Who Have Claimed to See a UFO. What is your story?" Let's read through that post. I will interject some speculation or commentary as we go. Prepare yourself for one hell of a ride. They begin. Throwaway account. Because I'm afraid. They open with a chilling line that serves a double purpose for me, because it makes me doubt a lot of what will be said later. It just seems like, a dramatic way to open this. But it also feels like a very human response to the events described. They continue. I was first abducted in 1987. I was 12 years old. I say abducted, but it's not like that. Actually, you go willingly. It's scary, but it's exciting too. And they are somehow able to make you feel okay about things. It's not until later that you feel bad or like you've been violated. And they don't do a lot of probing or anything like that. That's Hollywood nonsense. They look inside of people sometimes, but they have machines that do it. Not really machines, but like a room where things get done, and the walls are, it's hard to explain. So just imagine that all the walls are kind of like X-ray machines. That's the easiest way to describe it. Sometimes there would be others there, and they would be looking into them, or they'd put them under and cut them open, but not usually. Now, whether the poster means that the people were just operated on and lived to tell the tale, or dissected, is not clear. However, it is interesting to note that the majority of this post and all of this user's posts read like they were talking, like they did not take any time to edit what they were writing, which adds to the overall feel of the post. They continue. They took tissue samples from all of us, I think. And they never put you under or gave you any anesthetic or anything. They just poke you with, like those things they take samples of the ocean floor with, like those, but really small. They pull chunks out of you. It's usually done on the butt or on the lower back. Mostly they talked with me. Just questions, and they'd show me things like television shows, and they'd ask me questions about them. I think that the walls measure our reactions to things, same as when they take x-rays. I don't know that, but that's the feeling that I got. They never let you ask questions about what they are doing. Even once I got friendly with a few of them, they do not like it when you ask them questions. They hate it. This, of course, makes readers wonder whether the aliens can communicate effectively with humans in the first place. Any holes in the logic of this story make it that much easier to disprove. However, the Redditor continues and goes on to say, you can't understand their language. It just sounds like the poster writes HMMMMMMM, or so like, I guess a buzzing noise is what I'm picturing, or just a humming. I'm positive that we'll never be able to communicate with them in their language. I should mention that these are the grays that you hear about, except they aren't gray. Now, in case viewers are unaware, according to Wikipedia, gray aliens are purported extraterrestrial beings. According to journalist C.D.B. Bryan, 73% of all reported alien encounters in the United States describe gray aliens, a significantly higher portion than other countries. Such claims vary widely, but typically grays are described as being human-like, with small bodies with smooth gray-colored skin, enlarged hairless heads, and large black eyes. The Barney and Betty Hill abduction claim, which purportedly took place in New Hampshire in 1961, popularized gray aliens. There are precursor figures described in science fiction, and similar descriptions appear in early accounts of the 48 Aztec UFO hoax and later accounts of the 47 Roswell UFO incident. The gray alien has emerged as an archetypal image of intelligent non-human creatures and extraterrestrial life in general, as well as an iconic trope of popular culture in the age of space exploration. They boast an iconic appearance that will likely be recognizable to most lovers of science fiction. Their bodies are usually depicted as being elongated, having a small chest, and lacking in muscular definition and visible skeletal structure. Their legs are depicted as being shorter and jointed differently than humans, with limbs proportionately different from a human. Greys are also depicted as having unusually large heads in proportion to their bodies, with no hair on the body and no noticeable outer ears or noses, sometimes with small openings or orifices for ears, nostrils, and mouths. Greys are often involved in alien abduction claims. Among reports of alien encounters, greys make up approximately 50% in Australia, 37% in the United States, 48% in continental Europe, and around 12% in the United Kingdom. These reports include two distinct groups of greys that differ in height. Abduction claims are often described as extremely traumatic, similar to an abduction by humans, or even assault in the level of trauma and distress. Research has shown that the emotional impact of perceived abductions can be as great as that of combat, abuse, and other traumatic events. The eyes are often a focus of abduction claims. These claims often describe a gray staring into the eyes of an abductee while conducting mental procedures. This staring is claimed to induce hallucinogenic states or directly provoke different emotions. All of this, of course, is pretty common folklore. And the poster goes on to repaint that mental image and attempts to mold our perceptions to be receptive to something else. They go on. They are sort of beige. Its clothes are, anyway. They aren't naked. I don't know if there are others. People say there are, but I've only met these. Anyway, you cannot understand them. But they can understand you. And they can put thoughts in your head, but thankfully, they cannot hear your thoughts. You have to speak to them. They cannot hear very well, or else they're not good at understanding English, so you have to speak loudly and slowly. I don't know if they understand other languages, but I'm pretty sure that they would. They are interested in all of us and in everything that goes on. They like a lot of things about our culture, too. They like some of our music. Bluegrass is their favorite genre so far as I've seen. They like it a lot. And they love that African instrument that looks like a gourd with 13 strings. Love it. But they cannot stand horns or horn music, and they hate classical music and jazz. These barbarians have no taste, obviously, if they don't like some classics or jazz every now and then. I digress. I think trumpets sort of sound like their language. It's a feeling that I get, but I've never been able to ask them. They've taken me up just about every 2 years, I'd say, since 1987. Just about. Sometimes it's more often. And I didn't go up at all between 1995 and 2000. They usually keep me for what feels like a day, but turns out to be about 4 hours, usually. The longest that I ever stayed with them was 3 weeks. During that time, they made me make phone calls and keep up appearances. They aren't really bad. Well, I was going to say people, but they're not really bad people, or whatever. Now this is quite interesting. The poster goes against what many people assert with the fact that aliens are directly hostile to humanity. But these statements beg some questions. Would anyone notice if you went missing for 3 weeks? Or would life just go on as if you'd never existed? Do the aliens pick isolated individuals for this exact reason? The poster continues. The two that I got sort of close with told me to call them Jack and Gina. I don't know if they are male or female, or even if they have different sexes, but I know that those are not their real names. Those are just the names that they told me. And at this point, the writer makes a very bold statement. You either choose to believe him, or you don't. It's that simple. They make a claim so outlandish, but with such certainty, that it is almost convincing enough to be anything more than the raving of a lunatic. These next lines make all the difference. They will make contact with Earth on a wide scale in 2021. That's the year when they'll land here, or colonize or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what their plan is. They don't seem to be evil or dangerous. Their planet is, so they've told me anyways, a very long way away. They couldn't explain to me how far, they said, because it was too far for me to understand and was also close to the side. I have no idea what that meant, but it's always stuck with me. Home is too far away for you to understand, but also close to the side. Perhaps the aliens are insinuating that they come from a warp hole or some other dimension, or the other side. Who knows? We don't have anything that they want, so they've told me. I don't really know why they come here, or why they've taken so many of us up, or why they've gotten to be friends with me. They do not have any religion, and they don't need oxygen or water or trees or anything, I don't think. They don't eat people. I don't think they want to breed with us or genetically engineer us. I don't know what they want. But they've been coming here for at least 10 or 20,000 years. They've got video of all sorts of stuff, and they showed me video of Neanderthals and Cro-Magnon, which were really just like us humans, and all sorts of other human-like beings, us's or whatever. And they showed me video of the pyramids being built, this huge stone building that I guess is lost somewhere or destroyed, but it was in Europe, I could tell from the video. Now, this claim almost answers a question that conspiracy theorists have pondered for decades. How did the pyramids get built? But it only says that they have video of the events, not that the aliens did the actual construction. Someone asks this very question later in the thread, and the original poster responds with, I don't know. I've seen footage of building and footage of them being used, but I can't tell you how. I'm not an engineer. I'm pretty sure of this, though. The aliens have only ever observed. They've taken a few of us. They've taken a few of us for good, too, because I know there are some of us that have gone back with them. But I don't think they've ever taken any sort of action on our planet. To continue with his original post, they have video of them talking with all sorts of people throughout the history of the Earth. They showed me some of them and asked me questions about them, but I couldn't understand any of it because I only speak English, and even English from 200 or 300 years ago is so different I can hardly understand it. So I told them that they probably knew more about all of it than I did. Now, this statement is mildly suspect. A commenter beneath them asks, you could go back 500 years and still understand English. How do you think we understand and appreciate Shakespeare? The poster responds, alleging that the humans in the videos often have thick accents or are from many different countries and speak languages other than just English. And they continue on to say, I was up 3 weeks ago. That was the last time. I'm pretty sure that I'll go up again in a couple of years, but I'm not sure after that. The whole program, or whatever they call it, is going to change in July 2021. I think they said it was on the 8th, but it also could have been the 18th. I wasn't hearing very well. Everything is going to change in July 2021. They weren't trying to intimidate me or even to warn me, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. I hope they don't show the videos they took of me when they first started taking me up because I was so scared and young, and they are embarrassing. Okay, that final statement aside, if this person is to be believed, something will occur during July 2021, the month of this recording. It has been 7 years since this post went public, and there have been many discussions about it since, but the poster had one last sentence they edited in after responding to many commenters asking questions when the post first went live 7 years ago. They write, "Edit. No more questions. They are not happy with me. Sorry." Do you believe them? I will link the original Reddit post in the description so you can read further details. Jamie Heineman, the Mythbusters Reddit account, responding to the original poster, saying that their claims have zero grounding in reality. A commenter asked about the number of people in the ship or whatever holding area the humans were in, and the poster responded, "When I was there the longest, which was about 3 weeks, there were at least 10 people there during that time. So I guess let's say 120 people a year." There is a much deeper rabbit hole one can fall into, as the poster has further elaborated over time. However, their account has since been deleted, and one of their statements was that they aren't afraid of the aliens, they're afraid of people. Since all of this, a subreddit was created in honor of the story, which you can find down below in the description. You can also find a ton of further creepy lore there as well. Skeptics and believers alike are welcomed with open arms. You might want to get in there before April's over, though. On the 8th and the 18th, let's celebrate and remember this date. Either this is an incredibly powerful and elaborate attempt at trolling, a deeply disturbed human being talking about some of their delusions, or a true abductee. And if nothing happens on the dates set forth, perhaps we just weren't able to perceive it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.